Fort Worth County Sheriff's deputy accused of sexual assault and stalking is resigning. Details coming up.
And we have alert day in the forecast. We'll give you the details coming up.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday, and thanks for joining us on News 3 Now. I'm McKenna Alexander. Let's go ahead and take a look outside this morning. Julian, sounds like we have an alert day in our forecast.
That's right. We do have an alert day in the forecast, but before we get into that, we do need to talk about the weather that we saw yesterday. The severe weather that rolled through here brought plenty of torrential rainfall for us, and actually set a new record for us here in Madison. Here's a quick look at what we were seeing from yesterday, even though it's not on this graphic. We'll show that in a few moments. But we did see about an inch, 2 inches of rainfall for yesterday, which set a new record from back in 1959, which was just about an inch, 1/100th of an inch of rainfall for us. But alert days are going to be from tonight into Monday morning. We're going to be looking at light snow to be rolling in for us. So we did have plenty of rain. Now we're back to some wintry conditions for us as we get into tonight, transitioning into our Monday. We're looking at 1 to 4 inches to be expected for areas in southern Wisconsin, especially south of the Dells. Now, this is what we're going to be seeing throughout the day. Cloudy conditions, temperatures will be just above freezing, so it's not going to be too bad for this time of year. As we transition into the afternoon, we're going to be seeing those 40s come in briefly. Then we're going to see that cold air start to sweep its way back in from that northwesterly flow. As we go into tonight, we're going to start to see some of that light snowfall coming in for us. And as we transition into the overnight, that rain that was going to be mainly near Janesville or Rock County, we will start to see it transition all into snow for us. Now carry into our morning commute, and it's going to be throughout much of the morning commute until we get into the back end to later morning hours, where it's going to start to taper itself off, but still could see some light snowfall sticking around until about noon. Then as we get into the evening commutes, just know we are looking for more clearer conditions for us. But aside from that, we are going to be looking at a pretty dicey start to our Monday morning. And this is what we're going to be seeing in terms of snow totals, mainly areas into that darker shade of blue, 1 to 4 inches for us. And that's mainly south of the Dells. The areas into the Dells could see about a trace amount or even an inch, but really we're going to be seeing heavier amounts of snowfall between the Illinois state line into southern Wisconsin. We'll give more details about this in a few moments. Until then, let's go ahead and toss it back to you, McKenna.
All right, thanks, Julian. And as a reminder, make sure you're getting severe weather warnings on our First Warn Forecast weather app. It's free and available in the App Store. State Republican lawmakers are asking the Wisconsin Supreme Court to delay its decision to adopt new district maps. Friday, the state court sided with Governor Tony Evers' proposal. According to analysis from his office, Democrats would make some marginal gains under the plan, but Republicans would maintain their majorities in the Assembly and Senate. Over to Minnesota now. Repeatedly during the height of COVID restrictions, Governor Tim Walz said, "If you don't like it, you can vote against me." And while the governor offered it up as a joke, many candidates are taking him up on it. The race for governor seems to be gaining new candidates by the week, now including a former TV and radio personality. Esmond Murphy takes a closer look at who's running and the reasons why.
Wear your mask and stay healthy. If for no other reason, that'll keep you healthy to vote against me in 2 years.
2 years later, voters have a lot of choices. These are some of the GOP candidates so far. They are well-known state senators Paul Gazelka and Michelle Benson, former state senator Scott Jensen, businessman Kendall Qualls, and new to the race, former Hennepin County Sheriff Rich Stanek. Most of the candidates have pledged to drop out if they don't win at the GOP nominating convention in May, meaning they won't go on to the August primary.
That convention, for the most part, I think is going to be pretty determinative of who the Republican Party candidate is going to be.
Minnesota Republicans have not won a statewide election since 2006, when Governor Tim Pawlenty won re-election. That year, there was a strong third-party candidate, as there was back in 1998, when Jesse Ventura won as part of the Reform Party. This year, entering the race as a third-party candidate is TV and radio personality Corey Heppola. But some experts believe third-party candidacies are tougher now.
In the last 25 years, the degree of polarization in the state is so great, as it is nationwide, that it's harder to move people from voting from an established party candidate.
Governor Walz is running for re-election amidst a rise in violent crime and a continued debate over COVID restrictions. The governor has 3 times as much money as any of the other candidates of any party on hand. That's $3.6 million. Esmond Murphy, WCCO 4 News.
Back in our ridge now, a Walworth County Sheriff's deputy accused of sexual assault and stalking is now resigning. Prosecutors charged Deputy Gerardo Baca with 19 felonies related to the sexual assault of a half-dozen victims. Many of them were co-workers over the past decade. Baca is being held at the Waukesha County Jail with a bail set at $500,000. Some more local news now. One person is arrested after they knocked down a power pole yesterday on Highway 51. You'll see the pole down on the right side of your screen. The driver's car was later towed away. They were taken to the hospital but are expected to be okay. It took MG&E most of Saturday afternoon to repair that line. Still ahead, finding Smokey John's smoker, how you can help restore the famed restaurant's longtime grill. And you're taking a live look over the Capitol. Julian's tracking your forecast just ahead on News 3 Now.
It's the A1 Furniture and Mattress Instant Cashback event. Save up to 40% off store-wide. Plus, get $50 instant cashback on every $500 you spend. Take advantage of 4 years free financing with qualified purchase. Shop in-store or online. Only at A1 Furniture.
Whether someone is across the neighborhood, across the street, or across the room, you have the power to make them feel right at home. Ritz, a taste of welcome.
There's an invisible threat in your backyard that could cause deadly heartworm disease for your dog. But not if you protect him every month with HeartGuard Plus, the #1 choice of dogs. Digestive and neurological side effects have rarely been reported. Ask your vet for HeartGuard Plus.
It's Ford Truck Month, America. With new inventory arriving daily, it's time to get after it in a Ford F-150 and a Ford Ranger. Stop by your local Ford dealer today and let us help you custom order your truck your way. Then we'll get after building it. It's Ford Truck Month. Visit your local Ford dealer today. Order your F-150 to lock in 0% financing for 66 months and $500 cash, plus an extra $1,000 retailer order bonus.
After an accident, the last thing you need is to deal with the insurance company. What you really need is help. Let our family help yours. Call Gruber Law Offices. We'll go to work for you right away and take care of every aspect of your case. We won't stop fighting until you receive the care and compensation you deserve. When you need help most, just make one call. We'll handle the rest. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
I grew up working in my family's supper clubs. This is where it started with us as far as the fish that we serve at Culver's today. We source the finest cod and batter each fillet by hand and always cook it to order. That beautiful golden brown color and flaky on the inside. The fish fry is a Midwest tradition. It's about families coming together. I love bringing this tradition to guests everywhere. Mom and Dad would be proud. Welcome to Delicious.
At Affordable Dentures and Implants, that moment when we see a patient smile is everything to us. So whether it's a single tooth, full dentures, or dental implants, we're here to help you. Go ahead and smile.
Go ahead and smile. Go ahead and smile. Go ahead and smile.
Get instant cash back on every mattress purchase over $500 only at A1 Furniture. Save up to 40% off top name brand mattresses. Plus, get instant cash back and 4 years free financing with qualified purchase. Shop in-store or online now at A1 Furniture.
Now, as we get things started for us, we are looking at a wind advisory, which has expired for us here in Dane County. As we can see, it's pushed itself more into the eastern side. So anywhere from Dodge County, most to the eastern side of southern Wisconsin, is where we're looking for that wind advisory to be in effect for us until about 9 a.m. this morning. As we're continuing throughout the day, however, this is what we're looking at, as we did set a new record for a single day of seeing rainfall here in Madison. Yesterday, we had about an inch, a little bit more than an inch of rainfall for us that had fallen. And our old record, which was set back in 1959, was just a tad over an inch as well. So we did set a new record for a single day in terms of rainfall, which is pretty significant from all the rain that we saw. Now, as we're waking up this morning, we are still seeing that overcast sticking around for us, and it's going to be like that throughout much of the morning hours, especially as we transition into this afternoon. 35 degrees for us as of right now here in Madison, feeling a little chilly as we're still onto the breezy end in regards to our winds. But we we can see those gusts have died down quite significantly. Now that that cold front is moving its way out, winds are still a bit on the stronger side, but still not overly high as we continue throughout the rest of the mornings. We're looking around 25 miles per hour gusting winds here in Madison, and for Platteville, around 29 miles per hour gusting winds. But areas throughout southern Wisconsin are still just holding into the 20s and lower 30s. As we're planning out the rest of today, just know that winds won't be too strong throughout much of the rest of today. As we get into the afternoon, they'll diminish quite significantly. As we get into the later part of this afternoon, we're going to see a bit more sun starting to break its way through before we have clouds develop once again. Around 41 degrees, we're going to see our high for today. And on top of that, we do have the alert day coming in for tonight's transitioning into our Monday morning. Yesterday, we saw a bit more of what spring has in store for us, and tonight we're going into seeing a bit more of that wintry feel for us. Light snow that could be accumulating around 1 to 4 inches for areas in southern Wisconsin. This is what we're going to be seeing. Throughout today, the overcast is going to stick around for us, especially in the afternoon. Might see that break going into the evening, but for tonight, we are going to be looking at that rain, and for some areas near the southern border near Illinois, could be seeing that rain transition itself into snow as we go into tonight. But that's where we're going to see that heavier band of snow setting up. It's going to be between this Illinois border and southern Wisconsin, but we're still going to be looking at snow lingering throughout much of our morning hours going into close to our Monday afternoon. So just know that the morning commutes and around lunchtime, things are going to be dicey. We're looking around 1 to 4 inches of snow to be expected for areas south of the Dells. However, north of the Dells could be seeing trace amounts or even about an inch of snowfall. Now, this is what we're going to be seeing for the next 10 days. We are going to be going into our alert day from Monday, but temperatures are going to be pretty consistent between the upper 30s and lower 40s throughout much of the next week. Aside from that, a little bit of activity throughout this week as well, as we will be seeing those temperatures and even some snow mixing in with some rain throughout the course of this day, of the week. So it's not going to be too quiet of a week, still going to be a little bit on the busier end for us here in the weather office, McKenna.
I've decided to be positive, actually, this hour. You know what? And there is snow, but at least most of those highs are above freezing.
Yeah,
you know, there's still 40s in there. It's not just teens. I don't see any teens except for the lows. So I'll take it. I'll take it. We're on the, what's the word? End stretch? End of the, you know what I mean?
Dog days of winter?
That's it. Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah, we're almost
I don't really know the phrase either.
We're getting there.
It's okay.
We're almost done. All right, thanks, Jillian. For decades, Madison's award-winning barbecue restaurant, Smoky John's, has been known for some of the best ribs in town, and it's a title they want to hold on to for another generation. But as Taylor Modine explains, a missing grill isn't making things easier.
There's too many awards. We can't put them all out.
Smoky John's employees say their founder's story is written on the dining room walls, his food, and in their hearts.
I love him, and I still continue to love him.
Baton Coffee started working for John Olson when she was just 14 years old.
He's changed my life and many others in hundreds of ways, and I'm forever grateful for everything.
The news of his death is something she's struggling with.
It hits hard. It's very hard.
And what makes it more difficult for Coffee to cope? Learning one of Olson's most prized possessions was stolen.
The day of his services that the grill was missing.
An expensive piece of equipment, yes. But Chuck Plala, one of John's oldest friends, says the custom grill is more importantly a part of restaurant history.
To see that someone would disrespect him that way really bothers you. It's just a sad thing more than anything.
A legacy Olson worked hard to build for decades.
He paid attention to every bit of detail. He has his own rum. He has his own sauce. He only gets certain really good ribs.
And though his friends and family are disheartened by the theft, they're choosing to focus on the kind of man Olson was.
This is a guy who actually co-signed leases with some of his employees. No employer does it.
And the people he helped along the way.
The people that were kind of rough around the edges, he helped smoothie out, and he took in people that didn't really always have a chance.
John's friends say they're hoping whoever took the grill brings it back, but they also say law enforcement is involved with that search. Still ahead, the MLB and MLBPA will meet today. What that could mean for the Brewers and their fans when we return. You're watching News 3 Now this morning, Sunday. Stick with us.
Go to Amazon.com skills to enable Channel 3000 news briefs.
Sunroom savings season is here. Four Seasons has great solutions to beat the backyard blues and save 20 to 30%. Everything from decks and pergolas to screen rooms, porch conversions, patio rooms, sunrooms, and our new life room with retractable screens are on sale now. Let CoolView show you how to tame your backyard and improve your lifestyle. Call for a free backyard survey, design, and quote.
Get a new view from CoolView.
At Pick and Save, we believe fresh is all about standards. That's why we do up to a 27-point inspection on our produce. Like for oranges, we check for color and scarring and more, keeping only the best of the best on our shelves. Because when it comes to fresh for everyone, we believe the juice is worth the squeeze. Pick and Save. Fresh for everyone.
Meet Ron. That man is always on. And he's on it with Jardiance for type 2 diabetes. His underhand sky serve, on fire. His grilling game, on point. And his A1C, Ron is on it with the once daily pill Jardiance. Jardiance not only lowers A1C, it goes beyond to reduce the risk of cardiovascular death for adults with type 2 diabetes and known heart disease. And Jardiance may help you lose some weight.
Jardiance may cause serious side effects, including ketoacidosis that may be fatal, dehydration that can lead to sudden worsening of kidney function, and genital yeast or urinary tract infections. A rare life-threatening bacterial infection in the skin of the perineum could occur. Stop taking Jardiance and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of this infection, ketoacidosis, or an allergic reaction. And don't take it if you're on dialysis. Taking Jardiance with a sulfonylurea or insulin may cause low blood sugar.
A once daily pill that goes beyond lowering A1C?
On it with Jardiance.
Ask your doctor about Jardiance.
You're a hard worker. Provide for your family. Do good things in the community. Help out your neighbors. You've been there for so many others. Now, we're here for you. Your local Wisconsin energy and emergency assistance providers are working together to keep you safely in your home and your heat and power on. Apply now for a hand up.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
And as we're starting things off once again, we are going to be looking at a wind advisory that is in effect until 9 a.m. This is for areas just east of Dodge County, mainly into the tan color on your screen. That's where we're looking at winds, which will be gusting between the 30 to even 40 miles per hour range throughout the early part of this morning. But that's looking to diminish as we go into the rest of our afternoon. As we go in throughout, we're going to be seeing those wind gusts starting to taper its way down. But planning out the rest of today, just know temperatures are going to be hanging into the 30s throughout much of this morning. Cloudy conditions as well. You may see a couple holes of some sunlight starting to break its way through, but mostly cloudy and overcasted conditions are what we're going to be expecting throughout much of this morning. As we get into this afternoon, into those lower 40s, once again, might see a little bit of that break, but we are going to be seeing cooler conditions to stick around for us throughout today. And our alert day, once again, is going to be for tonight into our Monday morning. We're going to be expecting to see 1 to 4 inches of snowfall, and this is what we're going to be seeing in terms of timing it out. Coming into our Sunday nights after such a quiet day, well, we're going to see some snowfall starting to roll its way into southern Wisconsin, with heavier bands of snow setting itself up in the Illinois border as we go into the rest of tonight. So just know that your morning commute is going to be on the dicier side, as we are going to be looking at that snow to really be impacting much of our Monday morning and carrying into our lunchtime hour. Again, 1 to 4 inches is what we're going to be expecting of areas south of the Dells. We'll talk in more detail about this in a few moments. Until then, let's toss it back to you, McKenna.
All right, thanks, Julian. Well, some potential good news for Brewers fans. CBS Sports is reporting that the MLB and the MLBPA will meet today. It'll be their first meeting since Commissioner Rob Manfred canceled the first week of the regular season on Tuesday. The Players Union is expected to submit a new proposal, but players are not expected to attend a meeting. Looking to the NFL now, where a federal judge has just approved changes to a concussion agreement settlement with the league. It involves ending the use of race norms and demographic estimates based on race. This comes after a few players claimed the league unfairly represented people of color in its data. The new changes will give retired black players compensation after they were originally denied. So far, NFL parties have paid out more than $900 million as part of the program. There's a half hour of news still ahead here on News 3 This Morning Sunday. Next, we're running through the morning's top stories. We'll be right back.
Are you ready to make junk disappear?
I am so looking forward to this. We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point. Any first item removed? Just $89.
At Pick and Save, every free pickup order is picked fresh and packed with care, or we'll make it right. We're fresh every day, so shop anyway. Pick and Save. Fresh for everyone.
House, clean. Cabinet, handled. Bathroom, tiled. Get started on your next home project at Angie.com or download the Angie mobile app today. Make your home an Angie home. Angie, and done.
Come experience Floor & Decor's grand opening in Monona. With our unmatched selection of tile, wood, stone, laminate, vinyl, and more, all at everyday low prices, at Floor & Decor, you'll discover the perfect products for shopping on trend and on budget, all in one stop. Plus, our helpful associates make realizing your vision easy from start to finish, so your upgrade has never been more you. Discover your new Floor & Decor, now open in Monona, or visit us online at flooranddecor.com.
Where haven't we gone? What hasn't been done? What's still left to be discovered and possible beyond the horizon? How can we continue pushing limits, breaking boundaries, and leading the way? At Bad Boy, it's not just about finding the answers. It's about the pursuit. Bad Boy, Mo with an attitude.
Monona Plumbing and Fire Protection, a name you can trust when service is a must.
Monona Plumbing and Fire Protection is here 24 hours a day.
7 days a week for all your residential and commercial plumbing services.
From installation, repairs, and maintenance to complete sewer and drain cleaning, we've got you covered.
Visit MononaPFP.com.
Monona Plumbing and Fire Protection, a name you can trust when service is a must.
Are you ready to make junk disappear?
I am so looking forward to this. We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point. Any first item removed? Just $89.
U.S. ad spending is set to surpass $300 billion by 2022, and the greater Madison area is poised for major growth. So now would be a great time to consider a career in multimedia sales and to join our team selling our top-rated media and digital solutions. Work for a company that offers training, autonomy, flexibility, income growth, upward mobility, and work-life balance with a competitive wage. If you have a passion to drive results for local businesses, then visit morganmurphymedia.com right now to apply.
Right now, Ukrainian officials are continuing to directly ask the U.S. for help. The latest on the nation's conflict with Russia.
And a windy start to our Sunday with an alert day in our forecast. We'll give you the details in a moment.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday, and thanks for joining us on News 3 Now. I'm McKenna Alexander. Let's go ahead and send it over to Julian Searight for a look at our weather today. Julian?
Well, the storm has passed McKenna. However, we are still dealing with some stronger winds in southern Wisconsin, especially areas just east of the Dodge County area. So this is what we're looking at, that tan color on your screen. That's where we're seeing that wind advisory to be in effect for us until about 9 a.m. this morning. So expect some breezy and even some stronger winds throughout much of your morning hours. But as we get into the afternoon, it's going to be a bit of a change of pace, but we'll get into that in just a moment because we do have an alert day in the forecast for tonight into Monday morning because we're going to be seeing some light snow starting to roll in. A new system could be bringing about 1 to 4 inches of snow, which is going to be expected for areas just south of the Dells by noon into our Monday. Now, as we take a look back into what we're expecting as of right now, still that overcast here as we're waking up in Madison. 35 degrees as of right now. Winds are still on the breezier end from the west of 14 miles per hour. So it is a bit chilly as we're waking up this morning. Just make sure that you're wearing a bit of a nice coat. And here's a quick look at our latest rainfall from yesterday when we saw those torrential downpours that I'm sure everyone heard. Well, we got about 1.2 inches of rainfall, which set a new record for us, which was set back in 1959. So I guess we are making history once again here in Madison. But here's a look at our wind gusts as of right now. As we get throughout the day, just know it is still, once again, on the breezier end with 25 miles per hour gusting winds for Madison and Watertown, and for Platteville, 32 miles per hour gusting winds for us. And as you're planning out the rest of today, just know that those winds will diminish for us, but it's going to be mainly on the cloudier end throughout the rest of this morning and even getting into the afternoon. Temperatures will be into those lower 40s, but we will see just a bit of a break here and there of some sunshine. But for the most part, it is going to be a cloudy day for us. And we're going to be timing out when we're going to start to see some of that snowfall coming in for tonight in just a few moments. Until then, let's go ahead and toss it back to you, McKenna.
All right, thanks, Julian. And just a reminder, make sure you're getting severe weather warnings on our First Warn Forecast weather app. It's free and available in the App Store. Turning to our coverage now of the conflict in Ukraine. This morning, Ukrainian officials continuing to directly ask the United States for help as Russian forces take control of a large-scale nuclear power plant. Now, Ukraine is asking for a no-fly zone over its country, but Russian officials say that would be considered a form of military conflict. The U.S. has agreed to put more sanctions on Russia, causing financial disruption to its economy. And those sanctions are taking a toll on President Putin's Latin American allies. Nicaragua was depending on Russian banks to finance the expansion of Managua Airport. And the expulsion of Russian banks from SWIFT has also impacted Venezuelan President Maduro. Rafael Romo reports on Russia's relations with Latin American countries.
When Russia's Deputy Prime Minister Yuri Borisov visited Venezuela last month, he was given the red carpet treatment and was welcomed at the Miraflores presidential palace by Nicolás Maduro himself.
Son nuestros hermanos.
Maduro referred to Russians as our brothers and described his country's relationship with Russia in glowing terms. Before having his oil minister sign multiple agreements involving topics of mutual interest, including military cooperation, Borisov promised to help in the fight against external meddling. The top Russian official would later make stops in Nicaragua and Cuba, part of a Latin American tour to strengthen relations with allies in the weeks before Russia's invasion of Ukraine. As expected, once the invasion started, Nicolás Maduro sided with Russia.
Miren lo que están haciendo con Rusia.
Look at what they're doing with Russia. It is a crime what they're doing with the Russian people, he said. They kicked them out of SWIFT. They closed airspace. They shut down commercial links, and they prohibited them from having access to the dollar. What they're doing with Russia is madness, Maduro said. But some Venezuelans took to the streets in the first days of the invasion to denounce it, defying Maduro's position and telling the world the Venezuelan leader doesn't speak for them.
In the more than 2 decades Vladimir Putin has been in power, his government has strived to forge alliances with several countries in Latin America, showing his political and financial muscle in an apparent effort to tell the international community that Russia is not isolated and that it has partners around the world.
At the same time Putin's deputy prime minister was shaking hands in Latin America, the Russian leader was greeting Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro last month in Moscow. And in early February, Argentinian President Alberto Fernandez said Russia should be Latin America's alternative to the United States and the IMF when it comes to finding sources of funding and credit. We have to see in what way Argentina can become the entryway for Russia to enter Latin America, Fernandez said. Brazil's Bolsonaro said the invasion is no massacre and mirrored Russian propaganda by adding that Putin is only protecting 2 regions in Ukraine seeking independence. And even though Mexico voted in favor of condemning the invasion at the UN's General Assembly last week, President Andrés Manuel López Obrador said his government won't impose any sanctions on Russia. We want to maintain good relations with all countries in the world, the leftist leader said. Rafael Romo, CNN, Atlanta.
Meanwhile, Ukraine plans to evacuate millions of its own citizens out of the country, but President Zelensky says he's still not going anywhere, posting an Instagram video Saturday where he reiterated he's still in Kyiv.
Every 2 days, information comes out that I have fled somewhere. Fled from Ukraine, from Kiev, from my office. As you can see, I'm here in my place. Andriy Borisovich Yermak is here. Nobody has fled anywhere. Here, we are working.
And as the heavy fighting continues, we're seeing firsthand at just how devastating this has been for millions. Chris Livesay shows us what life is like inside this conflict.
Heavy fighting has raged for days in Mariupol. At a hospital, a father sobs over the body of his 16-year-old son. Deaths that could have been prevented, Ukraine insists, if NATO enforced a no-fly zone over Ukraine. something it decided against on Friday, lest it risk a direct altercation with Russia. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said blood was on their hands. From this day, all the people who die will die because of you, he said. Russia claims they're not hitting civilians, releasing videos of missiles launching at precision targets. But on-the-ground evidence tells a different story. This is a nightmare. How is this possible? This woman cries in the northern city of Chernihiv. Just look at this. Despite a slow start to the invasion, frontline fighting is closing in on Kyiv itself. These jets bombing the city of Irpin next door. And with Russian tactics becoming more and more diabolical. NATO Secretary General accusing them of using banned weapons.
We have seen the use of cluster bombs, which will be in violation of international law.
Even nuclear power plants are in the crosshairs. U.S. officials said the world narrowly avoided a catastrophe during Russia's siege of Europe's biggest nuclear power plant, one that Ukraine said could have been 10 times worse than the Chernobyl disaster. All of it sparking Europe's worst humanitarian crisis this century. More than 1 million refugees have fled the country, already on par with the number of refugees who were displaced from Syria, Iraq, and Afghanistan in 2015. Dozens come to this shelter here in the western city of Lviv before leaving the country. That's 4-year-old Andrei, exhausted after 20 hours of sleepless escape. His father stayed behind in their besieged city of Kharkiv. Now, he only has his mom and his big brother. Every day begins with a text to our relatives, says 16-year-old Dennis. We ask, are you alive?
The UN says as many as 4 million people could be displaced in the coming weeks. That's roughly 10% of Ukraine's population. The Ukrainians are also returning. The nation's government reporting more than 66,000 men have returned from abroad in order to fight against Russian forces. Now we're learning about a Ukrainian Olympic medalist joining those military forces to protect his country. Stanislav Horina, who won bronze in the Tokyo Olympics last summer, just turned 33 this week. And on social media, he requested that instead of sending him gifts, to instead donate to the Ukrainian army. And a bit of light amidst this raging conflict, a Ukrainian woman at the border with Poland on Saturday, sitting down to play We Are the Champions, My Queen. Speaking very few words in English and making gestures, the woman suggested she'd crossed from Ukraine and had not slept for 3 days, but still played on. And as war ravages Ukraine, one of Madison's own is in the region to cover the story. This week we sat down with a former Cap Times reporter, now with the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. Caitlin Farrell is in Poland near the border, covering the stories of refugees leaving Ukraine and the Polish people helping them.
So all the major trains and people trying to evacuate are coming out of Lviv in the western part of Ukraine, and so the train station here in Poland is really busy. And there's rooms and several rooms set up full of cots and blankets and people serving hot food. And so we spent a lot of time at that train station. Then we went to another border crossing called Medica, and that also has been really busy.
Naomi Coles will have her full conversation with Caitlin about what she's experiencing. That's this morning at 10:30 on For the Record. Still ahead, volunteers are needed today for cleanup at 1 Madison Park. How you can help out when we return.
The ultimate mattress sale is on now at Ashley. We have truckloads of inventory in stock and ready for immediate delivery. Save $1,000 instantly on certain mattresses, plus interest-free financing for 5 years. All at Wisconsin's #1 mattress retailer, Ashley.
Grass looks great, Zeus. Hey, could you maybe trim the hydrangea too?
Sure thing, Kevin. You want me to do the boxwoods as well? No. Finding the right person for the job isn't always easy. But when you have an insurance question, you can always count on your local Geico agent. They can give you personalized advice and could help you save hundreds. Hey, Medusa, let's boogie. For expert help with all your insurance needs, get to know your local Geico agent today.
You're a hard worker. Provide for your family. Do good things in the community. Help out your neighbors. been there for so many others. Now, we're here for you. Your local Wisconsin energy and emergency assistance providers are working together to keep you safely in your home and your heat and power on. Apply now for a hand up.
Sunroom saving season is here. Four Seasons has great solutions to beat the backyard blues and save 20 to 30%. Everything from decks and pergolas to screen rooms, porch conversions, patio rooms, sunrooms, and our new life room with retractable screens are on sale now. Let CoolView show you how to tame your backyard and improve your lifestyle. Call for a free backyard survey, design, and quote.
Get a new view from CoolView.
Wisconsin is as hard-working of a place as you'll ever find. There's a sense of pride, community, and work ethic that's second to none. People here are tough, but even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. At Gruber Law Offices, we won't stop fighting for you and your family. We've been here and will continue to be here for as long as you need us. Gruber Law Offices, one call, that's all.
Now at Menards, save big money on flooring and get 11% off everything. IBC sheet vinyl flooring is a great way to enhance the beauty of your home. It's durable, waterproof, and easy to install. Add comfort to any room with new carpet from Shaw Floors. It's soft, luxurious, and stands up to active lifestyles. Get 11% off all sheet vinyl and carpet. Save 11% on everything right now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
It's the ultimate sale going on now at Ashley. We have 100 semi-loads of inventory in stock and ready to go with savings of up to 55% off. Plus, take a bonus 10% discount and interest-free financing for 5 years. Ashley, Wisconsin's #1 furniture and mattress retailer.
Now, taking a quick look at what we're going to be expecting with this next system that's going to be bringing in some snow into southern Wisconsin. Well, we're looking at areas into that darker shade of blue to be between 1 to 4 inches of snowfall, with the heavier amounts of snow going to be into the northern Illinois state border and for southern Wisconsin. So that'll be between areas of Platteville, Janesville, and from Monroe that could be seeing the higher end of the snowfall. But as we go in throughout the rest of the week, tonight into tomorrow is not the only time where we're going to be looking at some precipitation for us. As we go in throughout the rest of this week, we're going to be seeing another system coming in overnight into Thursday morning that could be bringing in some snow throughout Thursday, transitioning into our Friday morning before fully tapering off. So our 3 things we're going to need to know is that we are looking for some snow for us tonight into Monday morning. As we're going to be seeing those temperatures stay about normal for this time of year, but then we're going to be looking at a handful of chances of some snowfall once again going into next week. That's one thing we're going to be keeping our eye on, but other than that, planning out the rest of today, just know the temperatures are going to be in around the normal side of things, above freezing and into those lower 40s. Over to you, McKenna.
All right, thanks, Julian. Looking ahead this morning, a reminder for ice fishers. The deadline is approaching to remove your shanties from state waterways. The DNR says ice shanties that are not removed daily need to be removed from all state waters by March 15th, and inland waters south of Highway 64 need to be off the ice by today. And through rain and shine, Hop Garden Brewing and a Tap Room was the place to be on Saturday. The business brought together a large crowd of friends and families for a brat toss, keg throw with Stein Carry, and a soup eating contest. Supplying fun, games, and an opportunity to support local community members, the Winter Games had tons to offer to those who gave it a visit.
I love somebody cheering on for somebody tossing a keg. I mean, that's just silly stuff that we don't get to do in our daily lives, and that's what it's all about today.
A very impressive toss there. Proceeds from the event go toward Paul's Party, a nonprofit that honors the life of Paul Notsky. Money will go toward buying recreational equipment for children who need sporting accommodations. A bookstore in downtown Madison is raising awareness for transgender rights. This weekend, a Room of One's Own bookstore is donating 15% of all online and store sales to Tent. Tent is a nonprofit organization based in Texas that's working to support and protect trans people and their rights. While this weekend sale is one way to help out, workers hope this issue won't last long.
There are lots of organizations across the country that are helping, so, hopefully in the future we won't have to do as many fundraisers like this.
This fundraiser is one of many that a Room of One's Own hosts throughout the year. The bookstore is open from noon until 6 o'clock today if you'd like to help out. Cleanup help is needed this afternoon at Olbrich Park. For the past 2 months, there's been a huge labyrinth set up at the park. The project supported by the City of Madison's Arts Commission. That labyrinth uses about 250 recycled Christmas trees. Today's removal will take place from noon until 3 o'clock. And a stuffed animal lost during a trip to Wisconsin has now been reunited with a Colorado boy. The Carey family was here in the Badger State for Christmas when they lost the stuffed puppy. 3-year-old Archie was separated from Puppy Elf at Mitchell International Airport in Milwaukee, but the airport tracked down the stuffed animal's owner through a Facebook post.
And he goes, "Is this his? Like, they're saying it's from Denver." I'm like, oh my gosh. And I looked through my phone and all the boys got TSA stickers because they were so good going through security. I'm like, I think that is his.
After their reunion, Archie and Puppy Elf hurried home to play and make up for some lost time. Still ahead, more holistic approaches to health and wellness could be coming to our community. How a new UW Health Grant will do just that when we return. And you're taking a live look over the Capitol. Julian's checking your forecast just ahead.
Look Who's 3 is sponsored by Three Bears Resort, Indoor Water Park and Conference Center in Warrens, Wisconsin.
I grew up working in my family's supper clubs. This is where it started with us as far as the fish that we serve at Culver's today. We source the finest cod and batter each fillet by hand and always cook it to order. That beautiful golden brown color and flaky on the inside. The fish fry is a Midwest tradition. It's about families coming together. I love bringing this tradition to guests everywhere. Mom and Dad would be proud. Welcome to Delicious.
At Pick and Save, we believe fresh is all about standards. That's why we do up to a 27-point inspection on our produce. Like for oranges, we check for color and scarring and more, keeping only the best of the best on our shelves. Because when it comes to fresh for everyone, we believe the juice is worth the squeeze. Pick and Save. Fresh for everyone.
If your credit card debt is out of control, if you're in over your head in monthly payments, there's a secret the credit card companies don't want you to know. If you have more than $10,000 in credit card debt, you have the right to let us settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. That's bad news for the credit card companies, but it's great news for you. We're Credit Associates, and we're offering you free information on how to completely resolve your credit card debt with a monthly payment you can afford. To see how much you could save, call now. 1-800-914-6947. Don't declare bankruptcy. Don't consolidate. Give us 10 minutes and we could save you thousands. After all, we depend on your success and offer a guarantee so there's no risk to call. Credit Associates. Live better, debt-free. We'll even show you how to use your stimulus money to jumpstart our services and get you debt-free faster than you ever thought possible. Call Credit Associates now to see how much you could save for free. Call 1-800-914-6947.
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota.
Awesome.
Cool. Pass out each of the distribution lists. And Lauren?
Lauren?
Where's Lauren?
Every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care, a 2-year or 25,000-mile maintenance plan and roadside assistance. See your local Toyota dealer or visit Toyota.com to learn more.
Ready, set, go get your Toyota today.
Toyota, let's go places.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Well, as we go ahead and dive into our weather, we do have a wind advisory still in effect until 9 a.m. This is for areas just east of Dane County. That tan color on your screen have that wind advisory in effect until 9 a.m. This is because we're seeing winds between the 30 to 45 miles per hour range, mainly around 45 miles per hour gusting into those areas, which is reaching into that category. But for overnight, we did see for our last 24-hour rainfall, well, we set a new record here in Madison from the storms that swept through. 1.6 4.2 inches is now the new record, which beats the old record, which was set back in 1959 of just a tad over an inch of rainfall over a single day. Now, as we take a look at our current conditions as of right now, lots of cloud cover sticking around for us. 35 degrees, haven't moved much in terms of temperatures over the past 2 hours, but we are still seeing those breezier conditions coming in from the west at 14 miles per hour, and that's going to be much of the tail throughout the rest of our morning until we get into the rest of this afternoon, where those winds will start to diminish, but those gusts are still between the middle and lower 20s and even 30 miles per hour gusting winds throughout much of southern Wisconsin for us. As we can see, even towards Platteville, we're looking at 33 miles per hour gusting winds for us and 25 miles per hour gusting winds here in Madison. So as you're planning out the rest of today, just know that in terms of temperatures on the surface, it's not going to feel overly cold. We're going to be above the freezing level. However, it will be cloudy throughout the course of today, and we may even reach near the 40-degree mark as we get into these afternoon. However, we are looking for our alert day, which is going to be in effect from tonight's going into our Monday morning. We did have some taste of spring over Saturday. Well, now we're going to be going back into winter as we're expecting about 1 to 4 inches of snow to start to accumulate for southern Wisconsin. But it's going to be quiet throughout today. So if you have things that you need to get done, well, today's the day to do it, because as we get into tonight, well, we are going to be looking at that snow that's starting to roll its way in, coming in from the south. Overnight, it's going to transition itself all into snow as those colder temperatures roll in for us, and it will cater into our morning commute. So our morning commute is going to be seeing light snow throughout all of the morning hours into about our noon hour as well. Then it will start to taper off as we get into our Monday afternoon, going into the 5 p.m. commute to be pretty quiet, but we are still going to be looking at that snow to be pretty consistent throughout our morning hours. So make sure that you have a plan and give yourself an extra few moments or even minutes throughout the morning in order to get to your destination or even get into work. We're looking for 1 to 4 inches in areas into that darker shade of blue, but near the Illinois state border is where we're going to be seeing a bit more of that heavier snowfall for us. But that tomorrow, and it's not really the only time we're going to be seeing some snow. As we go into Thursday and transitioning into potentially Friday morning, we are also looking at another chance of seeing some snowfall for us. And that's what we're going to see from our 10-day forecast. Other than temperatures just staying pretty normal for this time of year, we are going to be looking at light snow chances once again coming back from Thursday into Friday. So Tuesday, Wednesday will be the quiet days, mostly sunny conditions for us. But once we get out of our alert day, we're going to transition into our Thursday and Friday, where we could see once again some more snow. So a bit more activity this week. We had a couple dry stretches, and now it's starting to be like, hey, you guys were jinxing us. We're going to give you some rain.
Really were.
We're going to give you some snow. I'm going to kind of getting all the elements within a week time.
I will say, even though it's cold, it is very spring-like. We're getting a lot of precipitation. I don't like that it's snow, but that's Wisconsin. I'll deal with it.
Yeah.
So, you know, at least we're getting that precipitation we've really needed.
At least snow's pretty.
Sometimes. All right, thanks, Julian. Well, a new grant will soon help UW Health focus on making more holistic approaches to health and wellness in the community. On Friday, UW Health experts announced a $5.5 million grant from the Bernard Osher Foundation. Leaders say the money will be used to expand integrative health services, as well as help make some more novel approaches available to people who don't normally have access to them.
These funds will allow us to expand our reach and maybe even move the location of those services into the community. In order to do that well, we'll also be using some of this money to understand the needs of our community so that these services can be delivered in a way that is truly of meaning to those we are serving.
That money also brings the UW Integrative Health Program into a collective of academic integrative health centers across the country. Turning to our COVID headlines now. It's been nearly a week since Dane County lifted its mask policy, and Wisconsin DHS says they're happy with the numbers. In fact, our 7-day average is at its lowest since the very beginning of the pandemic. And this weekend, New York City became the latest and largest city in the country to announce it's dropping most of its pandemic restrictions. This is as the Omicron surge winds down. Here's what's happening in the Big Apple.
Tonight, there is big news in the Big Apple. Starting Monday, businesses are no longer required to ask for vaccination cards, and masks are no longer mandated in New York City public schools for kids 5 and up.
We have to get our economy back on track.
New York City, once the epicenter of coronavirus, now has a positivity rate of only 1.6% over a 7-day average. In neighboring New Jersey, today Governor Phil Murphy announced he's lifting the statewide public health emergency, which includes the mask mandate for schools and daycare centers.
We are ready to move forward and not to live our lives in fear.
Cases are so low in Los Angeles, officials lifted the city's indoor mask requirement today.
It's about time they lift it.
Back in New York City, though overall restrictions have been removed, the health commissioner still urged caution.
While this COVID-19 wave is ebbing, we can't yet say that the pandemic is ending. Thank you.
On Manhattan's West Side, Prakash Hundalani, the owner of Mamacita Bar and Grill, says he'll continue to require proof of vaccinations.
Is it worth it even if you lose business?
It's worth it, yes, because protection comes first, no matter what.
As for masks, here in New York City, businesses, including restaurants, are allowed to set their own policies. Nationwide, the federal government still requires masks be worn on planes, trains, and other public transportation.
The White House says it has a plan to manage COVID-19 so you can do more of the things you miss. The first part of it involves pharmacies preparing, quote, test to treat initiatives. It means if you're positive, you'll go home with an FDA-authorized antiviral medicine for free.
First, protect against and treat COVID. Second, prepare for any new variants. Third, prevent economic and school shutdowns. Fourth, vaccinate the world and save lives.
On top of this, officials are considering letting you fly without a mask. Right now, that mandate is set to expire on March 18th. Make News 3 part of your weekly routine by downloading the Channel 3000 app for the latest headlines and weather conditions 24/7. But first, lions and tigers and no bears, but still. Ever wonder what happens when these massive cats retire? We'll show you when we're back in a moment.
I have moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now, there's Skyrizi. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clearer skin at 4 months after just 2 doses.
Skyrizi may increase your risk of infections and lower your ability to fight them. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, such as fevers, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or coughs, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Talk to your dermatologist about Skyrizi. Learn how AbbVie could help you save.
I want to have $1 million when I retire.
Oh, great goal.
So where do I start?
Well, first you set up automatic transfers into savings. That can add up pretty quickly.
For me, working on putting $1,000 into an emergency fund got me in a good saving habit.
Already on it? Then put together a plan to get rid of debt and maximize your investments. You know, Summit helped me do. Oh, that's great. I love how Summit gives people the knowledge and confidence to go after their goals. It's your money. Own it. Summit Credit Union.
At Affordable Dentures and Implants, that moment when we see a patient smile is everything to us. So whether it's a single tooth, full dentures, or dental implants, we're here to help you. Go ahead and smile.
Go ahead and smile. Go ahead and smile. Go ahead and smile.
Haven't we gone? What hasn't been done? What's still left to be discovered and possible beyond the horizon? How can we continue pushing limits, breaking boundaries, and leading the way? At Bad Boy, it's not just about finding the answers. It's about the pursuit. Bad Boy, Mo with an attitude.
Experience, knowledge, results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
When a local man lost close to $250,000 of his retirement savings to scammers, our Call for Action team helped recover every penny.
It does happen to a lot of people.
Leah Linscheid breaks down the steps to take so it doesn't happen to you. Tonight at 10.
News 3 Now is always on.
Get the Channel 3000 app, activate the push alerts, and we will send you breaking news, traffic, and weather alerts as it happens.
The Channel 3000 app. Get it now.
Powered by News 3 Now.
All right, and finally this morning, Las Vegas has been known over the years for its big cat attractions. We'll ever wonder what happened to the lions and tigers when it's time for them to retire? Lauren Haley introduces us to some famous felines and their friends who are enjoying their golden years right now.
At the Lion Habitat Ranch in Henderson.
Lions are the laziest of the big cats. They'll sleep up to 21 hours a day.
Manager Denise Souffrant.
And their tongues are about 17 to 20 inches long.
Is a walking.
And these guys can live up to 60 years.
Talking.
And each giraffe has a different spot pattern, kind of like our fingerprints.
Encyclopedia of Animals.
I couldn't really put that into words. It's just a feeling that I get from working with animals, and it's just joy.
Around these parts, Denise is pretty popular.
Do you usually say hi to the animals? I do, usually. I'll talk to them. Especially Ozzy, and I like to do a little finger wave.
Known for doling out delights.
And they have their favorite people and keepers. Thank you for throwing that at us. You're so polite.
To animals like giraffe Ozzy.
He just has a very big personality.
But admits she'd be lying to say it's all fun and games.
But a majority of a zookeeper's work is actually caring for the animal, and that's actually the most important part.
Denise and her staff are their housekeepers.
A lot of dirty work.
They're butlers bestowing their breakfast.
This is actually one full day of lion food, and it also is the whole horse, bones, organs, everything, because in the wild, they naturally eat everything, not just like the meat like we do.
And they're safety referees.
2 people should always check the locks, 2 people should be present, and that's just to make sure everyone stays safe.
They're also in charge of grooming.
All of our cats get baths with warm water.
And baby shampoo. High-class pampering for some high-profile felines.
A lot of them are actually related to the MGM lion you see roaring at the beginning of the movies.
And you might recognize them from somewhere else, too.
Anybody here with a birth date before 2012, you would have actually seen at the MGM exhibit when they used to be at that exhibit there.
It might be a demanding job.
Oh, do you not want the Brussels sprouts?
With a demanding clientele.
He'll probably take it in his den box.
Fine, thank you.
And bye.
But for Denise, there's nothing else she'd rather do.
Zookeepers definitely don't get into the field for money. They do it because they have a passion for the animals that they care for.
Reporting in Henderson.
You're Julie, buddy.
Lauren Clark.
You know, I've always wanted a lion.
I have not, but good for you. They're a little scary.
They're so adorable.
It was really cute whenever it was drawn towards you. I don't know if I'd want one in my house, though.
Yeah, just keep it in like a little preserved area.
Okay, yeah.
Reservation.
Separate reservation in my house,
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
But as we're turning into weather, we got to talk about the alert day, folks. Just giving you a first warn here. We are looking for tonight into Monday morning to be seeing some snowfall that will be about 1 to 4 inches expected, especially for areas south of the Dells by noon tomorrow. Here's what we're going to know. 3 things we'll need to know is that we're looking for snow tonight into Monday, but also looking for some chances later into the week. That's what we're going to be seeing from our 10-day. But right now, alert day in for Monday, but we're keeping our eye for Thursday and Friday system as well. Over to you, McKenna.
All right, thanks, Julian, and thanks for joining us this morning on the Sunday. We've got more news coming up for you later this evening.